And I like your one crimp piece that I saw in here wherever you hit it at.
Yeah, it kind of fell apart.
Okay, the thing about this is all the curls repetitious.
Yeah.
And that's because you used a curling iron.
Right.
And you can't plug more than one item at a time in. That's why I say hot rollers.
Because you can have 2 or 3 different sizes.
Exactly. You know, one little set of European hot rollers, you've got 3 different sizes of curls. That's what makes it better to look at. Everybody's going to go out there with one curling iron. They're not going to think hot rollers. They're going to go out there with that one curling iron, and all the curly texture is going to be exactly the same. So I'm just giving you a heads up on what I would do. If it were me going on that floor, I would use hot rollers. All right,
And where
this
do you
here,
get those hot rollers?
you know, they have dual voltage ones that you can get in a lot of places. Like there's a small travel size that has like 8 rollers in it, and there's 4 big ones. No, there's 3 big ones, 2 next size, and then I think 4 little ones. I have a small set. I bought them at like a CVS or a grocery store.
Like
You know,
London
make sure it says, you know, but I'll tell you what you can do. You can go to Monoprix when you get over to Paris and go buy European ones that plug right into the outlet, so you don't have to worry about blowing power.
So they will have them.
Oh yeah, I bought a set over there too. So I have ones that I use like in the States and whatever, and then I have the other ones. But I've used the other ones over there, but they get really, really hot.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful. Even though they're dual voltage, they get really hot. So I wait, and just the first day you get there, unpack, take a nap, whatever, because you know you should arrive prior to competing so that you can get on the time correctly. Don't show up a day before the competition and think you're going to do shit, because I can guarantee you, you won't. I've done that with Ronnie Hawkins. What, you did that?
Well, we were so tired.
Iceland.
We have too. Yeah, and it was crazy.
Okay, Van, tell me what your problem is, and when you look straight on this head.
It's too straight.
No?
What's my problem? Separation. There, I gotta flip that down. It's too wide. Yeah.
That's what makes this connect.
Got it.
Your disconnected connection. So that's why I had the clip there for you.
Yeah.
I went in and went.
Yeah.
Now all you need to do is take your clip,
Spray
put
it.
it there, put the hairspray on it in the blow dryer.
Just hold your fingers. Just keep them.
Okay, here's this one. Okay, and then here's this one.
Yeah.
And then take a picture straight on with it, both ways. There it is where it's got a big gap in it, the gap of Gibraltar. And here it is when it's ready. Okay. But again, you go to artistic combing, and you see artistic combing. Make sure, this is pretty, I would make sure that my curly texture came over a little more. That way it just very finely goes into the line like that. That's fine, it's pretty, it's not tons and tons and tons of texture. You don't need a lot, you just need to take what you have and exaggerate it. You could even take a less of a section if you want for yours, so it's easier to curl faster. And then, you know, slide more over, whatever. You know, it's up to you. That section can be this wide, or that section can be that wide. It's just a matter. I think hot rollers with.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so my question is that when you're doing this category, does color make your work look messy if it's the wrong color?
It does. And if your dark is out too far, it can, you know, like with Sandy, some of hers is okay, but some of her dark is out too far in her texture. I would color it section by section.
Okay.
Just like you do a technical head.
Okay.
Okay? I would think of this, if I want my dark that much in the base to be that much, I would do that much dark at the base, then I would do that much, 2/3, 1/3. I would do that much of the next transitional color on just the curly texture. And then on the ends, most of it I would leave the lighter shade, because then you get that contrast when you get into here. If you don't color it just right, like this is the right amount from there to there of that, and then that's okay. But you want to make sure that this pops up because this is primarily lighter. You want to be able to see, his is colored right in that texture, in that area, but you did it section by section, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's colored right. Yeah, I would do that. And then if you look over here, he got this colored right too. So if you look behind that, this is colored right too. However, there's 4 colors in there, and it's the way the color bled. So you're going to get nailed for that. So again, it's the color that you use, the brand of color that, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of that could be because we mixed all that other crap with it. But if I was going to do another mannequin, I'd make sure that it only had the 3 colors.
3 colors, yeah.
Because I can see 4. There's 1, 2. They're blending colors, but it's the way it hits a little hot in certain places that makes that other look like it is.
Yeah.
So you have to be really super careful. Aim for 2 and let the third be the blending color that when you wash through it gets on there.
Okay.
Or you diluted it so much that the last one just kind of grabs on the ends enough. So you have to be super careful about that. Yes.
Question about the color. Would you, or could you even consider doing your 2 colors, rinsing it off, and then putting your light
Well, that's how
through
I always
everything?
do it. I always do it that way.
Yeah, because
I
then it
never
just
do all 3
softens
together
everything up, yeah.
because you're always going to get when you go to rinse it, and if you don't dry it immediately as soon as you wash
Right.
it, it's going to bleed.
Right.
And that's what Italy was talking about in the judges training, when she's back there, what's her face, is back there, and then that's when what's his face, Carmela goes, or Sal goes, you always so much trouble.
Yeah.
But that's what she was talking about, is the transitional line where it blends and bleeds, because it's impossible.
Right.
So I would do the 2 colors, then I would go back in and do the base again, and when I do my base, I would do my ends. That way, that's only running through that other color,
Right.
so that
Got
mid
it.
shaft gets your second color, or your first color again brighter, but not
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Because when you delete that base again, and you do the base again, you don't have to do it as bright. You can actually put the mid shaft color on your base to give it more depth, because it will take, if you're depositing like a lumen, say this is red already or burgundy, and I take the hot pink and I put it back over that and not put it on to the other, then my roots are going to be more vibrant, but it's going to bleed to my mid shaft, which is going to make it the right color, and then I do my light on my ends. So I don't do 3 colors at a time. I don't do it in technical either, because you're asking for a problem. You're asking for shit when you're done. Now, here's my other big concern. Okay. You have this way back and forward. If you don't get this part more forward,
Right.
you might get canned on it.
Okay.
Okay. Even though this is in here, you might get canned, because it really needs to, that's back almost to the ear, but it's
Ear.
not, right? When you look at behind it. So you need to really get this onto the face, like what Sandy and what Janelle has
Okay.
worked on. And a lot of that's in that setting in that spot. If you would have hot rolled that, you could have over directed it. It would have already combed it for you once you brushed it out.
Right.
And that's why at night before you compete, you'd want a hot roll, not hot roller, but Velcro roller.
Velcro roller.
You want to set that wave. I showed her volume, indentation, volume. And that's why you do that, because you can push the base of that, and once it sits overnight, it's going to do it itself. And it gives you that all the way onto the face. Then when you flick, your flicks should actually start up a little bit higher.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Once you
absolutely.
do that. Okay. So that's with that. But as far as the way it looks, you did a really good job.
Yes.
I mean, it's nice and clean. I can see your split. So your base is, when you lift your base, you always need to bring it back across, even in technical. You would want to bring that back across, so that you have a little bit more messier, like the wind blew through my hair in the front, because that's what makes that consumer.
Right.
It doesn't have to be 2 rows of flicks. It needs to just look like, like that.
Okay.
Then when you go in and do this and even overlap some of those flicks, do you see how I just took that and transitioned that and softened
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Yeah.
So the idea is how you have to comb it and blow it dry. But then when you go back in, you can just take those pieces and mess up that texture a little bit.
Got it.
Take what you have that's perfect and mess it up.
Okay.
Don't make it crazy, but you know what I'm saying? So that, see how much more texture.
Yeah.
And see, as I keep lifting, I can get texture, more aggressive texture. Aggressive texture is like you combed it.
Yeah.
If you keep it solid, it's technical.
Technical.
So take that, make that, again, it's very vintage. When you put that together with that, and another thing, even on this, because it's layered, I would pull pieces
And just flick those.
and just kind of flick your ends just a little bit, so that when it lays in there, it's not really a solid. See how I laid that over?
Yeah.
It's not a solid line.
Okay.
Okay, I
So
have
that-
a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What about on the left side? Yeah, no, I'm coming to the left side, so I'm looking at it straight on, and I see his curl, and then I see kind of a straight flat into his farrow. This side.
Oh, well, I just talked about that.
Okay.
He's not doing it right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So that's where you want that.
Go back.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
And moving
No,
it back,
it
bring it
needs to
forward.
be
Yeah.
over-directed,
Good.
and his curls need to flick up more, not down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Sorry,
a
I missed
straight
that.
line right here.
Good, thank you.
Where were you?
I must have been.
You missed the memo?
I must have been in my viewfinder.
How many people heard what I said?
We heard.
Okay, just making sure.
The competitors heard you.
Okay, that's all that matters.
In my zone.
That's